designed to prevent the water from running through the middle of the village. I'm starting to think that that water may be contributing to Golem or some villagers getting stuck. The last thing I need is a progress setback of a villager or a Golem dying. While it was getting late into the night, I cooked all of the mutton that the wild wolf had helped me collect. Having the Golem help me with a little bit more hunting, because I'm going to need more bones. I need to do this entire thing over again. Day 35. I got a rabbit foot as a gift from my cat, which is a nice new item to have, but I was jumped by husks while I was attempting to start with my morning chores. Using the Golem, I was able to collect the flesh, and their bones too, one for the throne. All the emeralds going towards my overall economic domination of this planet. I invested a ton of this round of money making into cookies to be able to level up my farmer villager one more time, getting Suspicious Stew as a new thing that was available, but I didn't purchase any just yet. I instead sailed out, trying to retrace my steps without having to go through the desert area this time and just shortcut to my actual goal destination. I didn't initially find the same forest where all of those wolves had spawned, but I did find a portal, and this one is actually completable. It did start to rain though, and that Enderman just jump-scared me. Day 36, the long and lonely trek through a whole bunch of rain trying to find a new best friend somewhere out in the woods. I am sad Keanu, wet and soggy, running through a taiga biome, but I eventually did find a few new wolf friends. Dougie, come here, Dougie. You, Dougie. Hello. Yes, okay, come on. Dougie. Yes, another Dougie. Okay, 2 doggies. Let's go home. Let's go home. It's time to leave. It's time to get back to our base. This is gonna take forever.
Essentially,
I could maybe so check far away. I threw one of them in the boat with me, and the other one being drugged behind the boat. I do feel a little bit guilty about that one, but as I head across the sandbar, things got very intense.
And fairies. That number should be at like 30
and I had somehow completed it without losing anyone that I noticed I had a potato in my inventory, probably dropped from one of the zombies. That is a pretty big find. It was the morning of day 37 by the time I had actually made my way home, and I'm using the rotten flesh from all of the husks that have been killed to breed up dogs. I'm going to need an army. I'm throwing all the emeralds I have at the toolsmith, going down to about a third of what I had previously, because there's no way I'm buying bells, and iron is just way too precious to be traded in. I did take one piece of that very precious iron to make myself a flint and steel, focusing on another round of the economics of punch tree, punch cactus, make stick, trade stick for money, with the extra little bonus of buying dozens of stone tools that I'm hoping to deprecate just by throwing them on the ground, but it is a very expensive investment to do so. The next morning, I'm still getting a little bit of additional, truly passive income from the farmer villager. The few seconds it takes to harvest peas or a melon really makes sense. It was at this point that I realized that I wasn't getting as many melons as I thought, and after a quick Google, realized that they don't grow on sand. You explicitly need a block of dirt. Getting a full round of emeralds and getting my toolsmith upgraded. We can get a diamond hoe for 1 emerald. That is a waste, but it is going to help us get them leveled up fast. After the second round of trading in the day, the toolsmith was about 3/4 of the way to leveling up, and I couldn't progress them any further, so I took out my frustration by torturing the chickens. Day 39. I received some string for the cat and realized I need to scale up my emerald production. The easiest way to do that would be a second Fletcher. Thankfully, my first can help me produce flint from the gravel that I have from creeper explosions. I'm able to put down a second table and double up on my emerald production from sticks each day. I also headed out in another random direction, trying to find lava a little bit closer to home. If I want to go to the nether, I need to do so from here, or at least from somewhere closer to here. That portal that I had made previously, I couldn't tell you the coordinates if I tried. I used the 2 pieces of lava from over in the abandoned village, and that was all that I could see. I waited until night just to potentially catch a smallest glimmer of light somewhere in the desert from my lava pool. The only thing I saw was my golem getting burnt by a ton of skeletons and husks on the outskirts of town. The next day, I wasn't about to let that sacrifice go in vain, though, turning the leftover scraps from that golem into a pair of shears, which would allow me to get full blocks, and that's another renewable block source. That is something I could use for building. I was able to get the toolsmith leveled up to their next trade, getting diamond shovels as the next possible thing that I could buy, and I'm gonna stick with the hose to get them leveled up. From there, I headed south, off to the Plains and Savannah area, seeing a much closer to home villager tower and shearing all the sheep that I could find. Since it's completely non-damaging and they'll grow back, it's perfectly valid for the challenge. I used a little bit of sandstone that I had in my inventory to be able to cast a portal a little bit more reliably, making sure to do it far enough away from the lava so that I wouldn't risk it. And before you ask, I checked with all of you on stream to see if this was a valid strategy, and you all said yes, so that works for me. Ooh, okay. This is potentially the scariest part of this entire thing. It can all go horribly wrong right here. Oh, that's not good. Oh, this is like the worst possible biome for us to be in. In the nether, I was toggling shaders on and off. For some reason, my shaders just really limit visibility. I spawned very low and in the middle of a crimson forest, which was kind of an awful place to potentially be, and I didn't have enough blocks. Now, I can't mine anything that I didn't make, so I have to travel through open nether. And unfortunately, every block that I have that's even somewhat renewable is flammable. So I headed back to the village, going into the day of life, the meaning of the universe, and everything to get a whole bunch of wood. Not converting all of it into sticks, even though I converted quite a decent amount of it into sticks. I still want emeralds at the end of the day, okay? I harvested all of the coke so I could have a fuel source, setting that to cook, using another iron to make myself a new shield, as my previous one had been broken from some skeleton at some point in the past. I made myself a whole bunch of bread so I would have food, harvested all of the melons, and made myself a bed so I'd be able to roll the day over from anywhere and not having to find a village. I grabbed a wolf in the boat, accidentally turned on narrator.
No big deal. Okay, this is a pretty big deal.
Use mouse cursor or tab. Use mouse cursor or narrator.
I
took a quick nap in front of the infernal portal to darkness and eternal damnation, going into day 43, where it was time to really give this another shot. With a bunch of spruce planks in hand, and really hoping that they wouldn't catch fire, I was able to build up to that first immediate tier above the one that I had spawned on, which was right at the lava level. Now I don't have gold armor, so all piglins are hostile to me, so I'm just constantly using the whole look down and make a tower of blanks underneath you to avoid being stabbed by my piglin former brethren. I am getting a little bit better at the whole use blocks to avoid soul sand things, so point in my favor. I continued past a bastion through multiple different areas of a crimson forest, and eventually saw a little bit of nether brick off in the distance. The only problem was the amount of bridging I would need to do to get there, and the lava that was in the way. This wasn't going to work. I think I got very lucky with the Stronghold Fortress. I also, with how I saw the train in the other direction, I don't think I could get anywhere without mining. This is the only one I've been able to get to in open nether, or the only one I'll be able to get to in open nether. Without digging a tunnel, there's no way I can get a dog to survive this trip. So I actually think the play might be to go over in the overworld, even though it's 8 times the distance, and try to just portal directly into the fortress. So let's try that. Funny enough, this is not the only time that I try to abuse portal mechanics to get somewhere that the game is preventing me from going. You will see that later, and it is a treat, trust me. But I'm thinking it's about 200 blocks on either axis away from where I was. Maybe a little bit further. So I should need to go to about 3,000, negative 3k on one of the axes, and that's going to be a little bit of a hard challenge, but I'll have to figure it out. I couldn't even sleep. It was just into day 44 by the time I was back into the overworld. I grabbed the wolf in the book, started heading north, sheared all of the sheep that I could, traded for all of the hoes that I could, grabbed myself a shovel, or 3. It's not something that I'm going to use a lot of, but it's still potentially useful, and the experience gains on the villager, really I can't pass up. Plus, with double the Fletchers now on the workforce, and a ton of trees there, I'm making twice as many emeralds as I used to on any given day, and it's working in my favor. Give me the pickaxe. Oh, this is actually really good! Oh, but I'm short. Hold on, where do I find sticks? Silk Touch is huge! I just said so about 15 minutes ago in this recording. You probably heard that in like 7. Yes. I remember way too much. Diamond pickaxe acquired. Next morning, I had a feather from my cat and a ruling from the chat. Now, I spoke with a few of you in my live stream chat, and you said that this was okay. Since I made this obsidian, I can break it. This is huge. That is 3. We need 12, and then we can head to the place where we know the fortress is, and hope that we spawn in a place that we can get the dogs to without dying. So despite getting a Silk Touch pickaxe, I for some reason was still defaulting to using an axe to harvest all of the melons. I'll do so for another couple days before something probably clicks that I'm messing up here. I was able to use a lot of bone meal on the potatoes to get that really going, trading with the farmer villager for more suspicious stews, and then dumping every penny that I had with the golden carrot. This is expensive, but it's worth it. This is the best food in the game. There is nothing that can beat it, and now we finally have it. And now, we also need to figure out what these are. Weakness? So I chow down on all of the suspicious stews, mainly to get more bowls. Again, I don't know what to do with bowls. Throwing all of the melons to just recoup myself back up off of 0, because being completely broke is terrifying, even in block game. I once again napped in front of the portal to the abyss. Alright, and this is another thing that I talked with y'all, that you all said that this would be okay. That if I just poured this over this, that would be fine, because it wouldn't be obsidian unless I did something to it. But we're gonna be a little bit more precise. There we go. And now there's no arguing that this is because I made it. Since I have the approval of my stream community, and by the way, if you want to be able to vote on rules for my videos or anything else like this, you gotta join the streams. Make sure you come tune in every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's a lot of fun. But day 46 turned into obsidian and wool farming the game, so I'd be able to have all of the supplies I need for later parts of this challenge. Once I had about 2.5 portals worth of obsidian, I sailed north, getting back to the desert village, taking a quick nap, and going into day 47, where I loaded a dog into a boat and started heading off to the coordinates where I was hoping the fortress would be located at. I was actually back in that area with the deserts and the mesa biome that I had gone to about 15 days earlier, heading off until I got to the exact coordinates on my F3 that I was thinking would potentially be it. I built myself the portal, thought maybe I should take a nap before going back to hell, lit it, and it's time to check my math. Oh, I did the math so perfectly! Oh, I did the math perfectly! Can we get a blaze rod? Oh my god, if we can get one, we can fire us. No. Oh shit, how would we get fire us? Okay. You're coming with me. This is gonna be risky. I saw the lead pumpy on the other side. No, don't fall! No! Oh, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't die. That's all the meat I have.
Need moblin guts.
Oh my goodness, you stay right there. You stay. Ooh.
Right, let me go cook the necessary stuff.
Nope. Time to go. I'm I'm gonna sacrifice so many wolves to get this challenge done. Oh no. So realizing that I'm gonna have to throw a lot of bones for the bone throne and blood for the blood god, I sailed all the way back to the desert village, getting there right about the time where mobs were at their peak, which was perfect for me, running around and following the iron golems for whatever rotten flesh they happen to just spontaneously find sitting somewhere on the ground. I also hugged a few explosive shrubs, getting some more sandstone, and the occasional piece of gunpowder whenever two of them were just in a little bit too close proximity to each other. And all of that rotten flesh is being used to feed the dogs to make more dogs. Day 49. I'm watching Taskmaster while working on this project, so you don't have my live VO right away because I don't want to get copyright struck. But I'm saying to myself, I need a way to be able to transport more than 2 dogs at a time. And wouldn't you know it? I was just hoping to find one of you! Okay. We need gunpowder. Okay, we need gunpowder. Alright, here. You can get the leads from Wandering Trader without killing them. Yes, I'm looking at you, my fellow YouTuber friends, by throwing the llamas into a boat, which snaps the lead right away. Using that, I was able to get 2 more leads, doubling the number of wolves that can come with me in each individual trip to hell, converting an entire tree from sticks to emeralds with 1 step in between, taking a little bit of that money over to the Wandering Trader to buy 8 pieces of gunpowder. I also spent another 10 on jungle sapling, another tree variant, another type of wood, and another tree that goes big if you have 4 of them, so that's some variety in my life while I'm continuing to walk around while the husks get hunted. Day 50 is the halfway point on the challenge, and once again I found a villager up on the roof of a building that they should have been on, and I need to convince them not to jump and kill themselves. Doubly so now because they have something that I really need. After baby-proofing the village, doing a little bit of work on my economy, about now finally remembering that I should be using a Silk Touch pick to harvest all of the melons, I crafted up an additional shield, knowing my current one would not withstand fire for an extreme amount of time, grabbing the wolves that I can, getting jump-scared by a pufferfish, and sleeping on an island on my way to the portal to hell. Day 51. I'm going to be completely honest, I spent a good portion of this day totally lost. I was in the mood of, I don't need to check my screenshots folder, I remember where I need to go, and I ended up sailing off in the wrong direction by about 1,000 blocks on one axis. That required me to go up and over the mesa with the wolves following me, and just as the sun was starting to set, I saw the portal in the distance, throwing the dogs off to hell, waiting until day 52 for me to go in and follow myself. I'm blocking off all of the walls to avoid Wither Skeleton Blaze to hit my shield with a fireball, which will trigger all of my dogs. They count as player kills if they get it, but the statistics don't go up, and I'm just shoving rotten flesh into them to keep them alive and heal. It took a few kills before I got my first Blaze Rod, which means that finding the stronghold is possible, and that is a huge improvement. I did start losing some dogs though. There were sacrifices that needed to be made. I got 3 Blaze Rods, which felt pretty good before I ran out of rotten flesh, and I'm thinking, you know what, I could just protect all of us with fire res. So I synced all of my wolves on the slime, getting a magma creep, which is good to have until I remembered it's going to be impossible to brew potions because I can't get nether quartz. I took the survivors from that fiasco, brought them back over to the overworld, and headed sailing back towards home, using torches to mark all the small little islands in between those 2 places, so I have a clear path and, direction so I don't get lost again. Using the night to farm resources from mobs and explosions, I went into day 53, grabbing a whole bunch more wolves and sailing back. This time, actually having a route and not getting lost, making my way to the portal at about the halfway mark of the day, getting all the wolves through and back to the nether. They immediately all jumped on a Wither Skeleton, which thankfully did well, and then off to fight more blazes. And yeah, I'm sacrificing wolves to the fire, losing all of them, but having all the blaze rods I need to find a stronghold. I took a quick nap in the lake before sailing back home on day 54, harvesting up all of the melons, all of the seeds, teaching the chickens a lesson, and doing a little bit of work with wood to get my emerald total a little bit higher. Day 55, the cat brought me chicken? No, didn't do that. I crafted up all of the eyes, and let's go. Alright, let's see where this goes. Okay, it's in the water. If it's water accessible, it's really the only way we can make this work. I started sailing off and it started raining, which is ominous and atmospheric, and ooh, the tension. I love how this happens sometimes. I ended up on a small little sandbar, throwing the eyes, and I'm starting to learn a little bit about speedrunning for another video I will do soon. And the angle made me think that it was relatively close, so I went just 2 chunks over, threw an eye, and it went down. Which is great. A water-accessible stronghold is really the only way I can get into that place. There's no other way for me to break blocks or do anything else to be able to mine my way down. So I checked all the caves in this area, everything I could find in close proximity, and then moving out like 100 blocks or so and finding caves, but with no indication whether or not they'd double back and reach me. This is a problem. If I need to break blocks to get to the stronghold, then I can't get there. And I just need to go find another one, potentially. I did have a thought, though. Let's try to use a portal to get underground. If you watch any of my videos, you know whenever I make a portal in the nether, I end up like deep in the deep slate, completely underground, no access to the surface. Maybe for once I can use that in my favor. So I have a plan. I'm going to need a whole bunch more obsidian, but before doing that, I also just kind of want to get to a better economic state. I combined a bunch of jungle saplings to get a big jungle tree, ending up with mines as a new item, which could definitely come in handy as a ladder alternative. I traded all of the melons, sailed south to where that lava pool is, and then just made obsidian all the way into day 57. I spent about a half an hour just making obsidian. I made a portal here at the village going through, ending up in the Soul Sand Valley. I could see my surface planks in the distance, so I was relatively close to my other portal. The only problem is there's a skeleton here, and I can't kill anything, and it followed me through the portal, and I only have 3 hearts. The next morning, I'm back to the nether, using a bunch of jungle planks to bridge my way through, having to run over the lava pits of a bastion, trying to head over to where the coordinates of the stronghold will be. At one point in time, I was cornered by piglins, so I had to turn back, and my bridge had burned away. This is a bit of a problem. I used a bit of obsidian to prevent the lava from catching it, heading back over to my village to grab a little bit of backup. First the trades, then the wolves, then back into hell with a few close calls. Now, once the piglin spot me, the wolf jumps into action, helping me eliminate the threat, eventually nabbing me a gold sword, which is a single golden nugget. Inefficient, but I guess I can get towards maybe a piece of gold armor eventually. That is until one of my wolves just got yeeted by a hoglin and fell. Alright, I'm gonna have to just leg it. I ran to on top of one of the Crimson Forest trees, as close as I could get. I was about 20 blocks off the exact coordinates I was hoping for, but maybe this would be good enough. Every time I ever make a portal in the nether, it always puts me in a cave. So I came to what is almost exactly the coordinates of what the stronghold should be, and I'm really hoping that it puts me into a cave. And even better, if it puts me into the stronghold. And if so, then we have a path. A very dangerous path, but a path. So oh, you've got to be kidding me. Well, that was a failure. I spent a little bit of time the next morning demolishing that portal so I could save all of the obsidian. I don't want it to go to waste. Heading back home and doing a little bit of gardening and just trying to think what I'm gonna do next. The fact that I spawned above water, floating in the air, the antithesis of what I was hoping for, just makes me think that that is karma just laughing at me. Something is gonna need to happen for me to be able to actually do this challenge without breaking a block, and I don't have a clear idea of what it's gonna be. But before I search for another stronghold, I'm gonna need better armor. There's bound to be a lot of mobs, and I'm gonna have a lot of incoming damage. Making myself more resilient would be key. As I headed south to go towards the Savannah village with all of my emeralds in pocket, yeah, I was visited by a pink sheep. Hello, friend. Come with me. We will speak no more of this. It just happened. Again! Every time! Without fail! Every time! Hold on. That's going on Discord. Y'all will not believe how much I get excited about this. I know it's the smallest thing. It is the smallest thing. But it just makes me feel somewhere that the universe is saying, yes, you can do this. And given the fact that I had just come off of a failure with the portal, that felt wonderful. The next day, I went off to the Savannah Village, buying a few extra pearls, just as Kersplat insurance, so I wouldn't fall and die. Grabbing some more iron armor, first a helmet, and then buying a whole bunch more helmets that I could smelt down into nuggets, getting the armor leveled up for chainmail boots, which would be nice. I boxed them in with a piece of obsidian, grabbed the sheep back into the boat, spent the rest of the day sailing back towards the desert village, because I'm going to need to do a lot of revenue generation if we're going to be able to buy all of that armor and then the diamond armor in the future. With the sheep safely penned up on day 61, it's off to work. Day 62, I started the day by harvesting the crops and smelting down all of the helmets and the gold sword into nugget form, so they would potentially be useful, craftable into ingots at some point in the future. From there I spent a good chunk of time converting trees into money. The environment doesn't need oxygen, it's gonna be totally fine. At this point, the potato crops have yielded enough that one side of the farm is fully populated, and that's a good place to start, except I need another farmer who will actually accept potatoes, but I'm building stock right now. That went into day 63, where I finished up this round of economics, getting to 66 emeralds, which feels just kind of perfect to head back to hell with a few more wolves, with the hope of getting enough blaze rods to be able to get myself to a new stronghold, hopefully one that is actually accessible from water. One of my wolves fell to their death almost immediately. Once I was in the nether though, as I was on my way over to the blaze spawner, I got a little bit of a surprise and an extra gift from my wolf friends. I can't believe I got a wither skull! I can't believe I came here for blaze rods and I got a wither skeleton skull. With the help of a few more four-legged sacrifices, I was able to get 3 more blaze rods, which should be enough to help me find another stronghold as long as every single one of the eyes doesn't break. And after a quick nap on the beach, I said goodbye. You two stay here, guard the portal for forever, and I will never be back. Bye! I sailed back towards the village, planted the wither skull on the side of a house for memes, I can't do anything with it, and did a little bit more economy, getting myself up to 70 emeralds. That feels like a good spot, and potentially enough to be able to afford diamond armor from the armor in the Savannah village. But I wanted to make sure that I'd have enough, so day 65 was another grind on the economics of this world. I'm harvesting all of the trees, throwing those at the Fletchers, buying axes from the toolsmith, using that to make more sticks, which makes more emeralds. I did buy a powered 2 bow, and then forgot that I can't actually shoot a mob, and end crystals die in one shot, so that doesn't matter. Ending the day with 100 emeralds exactly, the richest I had been yet in this world, and that felt pretty good. On day 66, I want to build myself an insurance policy. Hopefully, I can get myself into a stronghold with a few blocks of TNT and a few redstone torches. That would let me break a couple blocks. They wouldn't exactly count as broken by me. I decided to travel through the nether, thinking this would be the fastest way, running off to the portal by the Plains village, harvesting all of the wool, and sailing throughout the whole day over to the Savannah village, some several thousand blocks away, where on day 67, I'm throwing all of those 100 emeralds at this armorer. First in chainmail boots, and then in shields, which were thankfully cheap and provided a decent bit of experience, then diamond pants and diamond boots, getting me halfway towards my goal of full top-tier armor. The expert level trade was a diamond helmet, so I'm 3/4 of the way there, and the master level trade was just out of my reach. I threw another eye, and I'll explain in here. Okay, so this is gonna sound weird. Go with me for a second. If there's a stronghold behind you, and we know where the stronghold is to the north, I'd be willing to bet that this is all land, because, well, it looks like land. And we cannot get into a stronghold that is underground because we can't dig. So I'm gonna go for a little while, like vaguely that way. I'm gonna hope beyond hope somewhere in the ocean is a stronghold, and that stronghold is accessible from the surface. Hoping that I had identified 2 of the 3 interior triangle strongholds, I thought I would sail for number 3. It was probably directly south of what I now knew was the northern of the 3, and my hope, because this was a massive ocean area, is that it would be located somewhere underneath the water that I could easily access. I followed eyes for all of night 67 into a portion of day 68, where I eventually had one eye head southward. Marking that chunk, it's time to start searching for a cave. I'd turn off shaders so I could see a little bit easier underwater, going through any tunnel using a bucket to just make a little air pocket, because that's how breathing works. I found my way into geodes and caves, a massive underwater area. Like, look at this cave. It is huge. And if I could build in here, I could probably make something that looks decently cool, but no stronghold. There are a few points where I heard mobs underneath me, but nothing that tells me this is the place where I should spend one of my few precious blocks of TNT. Then I swam through a small, cracked cave, which opened up to an open-air cave at the bottom, and struck gold. Oh, nope, gotta run. Nope, gotta run. Oh, there's a slime right there! Oh! That's like a perfect box.
I was gonna save.
I think that's how the stronghold generates. I'd be willing to bet that that's it. I don't know about you. I think I'm standing on it. Oh, no! Gotta run. Oh, I'm absolutely standing on it. Look at this box right here. This is another room. Yes! Yes! Oh, there's the pearl I need, but I gotta go buy it. Okay, let's find the portal room. Okay. That is the best stronghold navigation of my entire life. We could send it. In this moment, we could go to the end. We could complete this challenge right now. But, like I said, I want to do it in full diamond armor. Wanting to do this right, wanting to complete this challenge, I need to get into full diamond before I take on the dragon. It would be really nice to kill the dragon on day 69, and believe me, I was celebrating. It could be done! Oh my god, it can be done! Okay. We need to do the final work, and we need to get ready, and we need to kill this dragon. We're not going to make it to day 100, we're going to complete this challenge right before that. But we have to do this properly if we're going to do it at all. I demolished the old pillars, sailed all the way back towards the desert village, sleeping along the way, because it is a multi-day journey by boat on the rivers, and from there, I'm in economics mode. I need at least 50 emeralds to be able to fully afford everything that I want for the fight, but I want to go a little bit further. I ended the day on about 40, going into day 71, where I continued on the economic grind. Sticks, melons, tree, stick, melon, tree, stick, melon, tree. I want to actually kill this dragon with 100 emeralds in my inventory. That feels oddly poetic for a 100-day challenge. I'm not going to wait until day 100 either. I have a plan for what will happen after the dragon has fallen. Just you wait. But near the end of the day, I fully committed to destroying all of the wheat and planting exclusively potatoes. Going into day 72, where I have 94 emeralds in my pocket, and this is looking like it's going to be possible. 103. Just because we can. Wait, hold on. 105 emeralds! We have what we need. Well, wait, oh wait, no! Now if we go buy the thing for 30, we'll have under 100. We need 130. We need 130 exactly. I still had a little bit more grinding to do, but now that energy was bubbling up inside me, I was anxious. I really wanted to do this. Every tree seemed to chop faster. Every trade that much more rewarding. There we go. 137 emeralds, which means after we buy the diamond chest plates, we'll still have over 100. And we're gonna kill the dragon with 100 emeralds in our pocket. The next morning, I invested a few of those emeralds back into arrows and saw a new wandering trader had wandered their way into the village. And they were selling gunpowder, which I wanted, and dripstone, another new item. And that is pretty huge. With that, I can make farmable lava, but we'll get to that later. That cut into my reserves just a little bit, but I still felt confident about what we were gonna do. Now you might be thinking, if I'm going to go to the end, it is extremely risky to be there since I can't kill anything. One look at an Enderman and it is over. And you're right. So we need to get a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin. But I can't break blocks, and I've only found one way to do it. And that is to travel through time. I'm gonna make my game think it's Halloween. One quick change of Windows setting config later, and just like that, we've traveled through time. Now let's get a pumpkin. So while I waited for it to become night, I harvested all of the potatoes, did a little bit more trading just to build a buffer in emeralds. I want to kill with as much wealth in my pocket as possible, and then looked around for a prospective mob to drop me their gourd-based armor. Pumpkins only spawn on mobs on Halloween night, and it's based off of your PC's local time. And they have a 1 to 3% chance of dropping that pumpkin when they're killed. Or at least I thought they did. We'll get to that later. I dropped a husk in a boat at the end of night 73, going into day 74, thinking if I made an iron helmet, which was a huge investment of iron ingots, they would drop the pumpkin and put the helmet on. And they did put the helmet on, but they never dropped the pumpkin. And here's where I found out they only drop the pumpkin if you kill them with looting. And I can't do that. One more quick jump back in the future, and we're back on the melon grind while I'm trying to figure out another way that I can make myself a pumpkin. I headed south towards my lava pool, using a little bit of it on the lake, make a few blocks of smooth stone, breaking that with a wooden pickaxe that I just made for trash to get just enough cobblestone that I could head back to the desert village and unlock a piston, a brand new item for me. From here, I headed south, sailing along to the Savannah Pillager Tower that was relatively close, and hoping that they had a few target dummies sitting outside. Thankfully, with a little bit of luck, they had 2 with jack-o'-lanterns right on them. I used the piston to push one of them, causing the pumpkin to break, dropping as an item that I was able to pick up, leaving the piston behind, thinking it a fair trade, sleeping in the Savannah village, and then heading south. I have everything I need. That pumpkin was the final key, but there's one stop left. The price went up? I'm only gonna have 99 emeralds. I got 99 emeralds, but the dragon ain't one. Knowing now that I'm not going to be able to kill the dragon with 100 emeralds in my inventory, I figured I'd buy myself a little bit of insurance if I happen to get yeeted up into the sky. And when I put the chest plate on, it felt good. Full diamond. And we started with nothing. And we broke no blocks that we were not responsible for. We're practically in adventure mode. And we're going to kill the dragon without killing the dragon. That tab will remain inactive. Now fully equipped, fully stacked, having everything I needed to end this challenge without a single direct mob kill. I sailed off towards the stronghold, used the water to get over towards the portal, standing in the middle of it and getting ready for a fight. I cannot believe we're about to do this. And we got 2 eyes. I never get eyes in my turns. With the portal active, I threw the pumpkin on my head, and, oh. Hold up, that's gonna be awful for you all to watch. One quick resource pack installation later, and this video is a whole lot more viewable. I used a bow and arrow to knock out all of the crystals the dragon circling overhead. I need to be extremely careful here. If I shoot the dragon even once, if I hit it at all, I will get credit for the kill, invalidating the entire challenge. So it's very opposite or counterintuitive of how you normally fight this thing, and it was a fresh change of pace. Once all of the crystals were down and I was back on Terra Firma, Moon Firma, and Firma, I crafted a whole bunch of beds. I mean, like an inventory's worth of beds. Messing up the one cycle on the first attempt, the bed just instantly disappearing, so instead I threw down a block of TNT and a single torch, running back while the dragon took their first bit of damage. According to the game, all I did was place 2 blocks. I am off scot-free, and that doesn't count as damage from me. For a button, that would have been a different story. Proving that I might not exactly be ready for speedrunning yet, I wasted another 6 or 7 beds to get the dragon to only half health. Maybe I do a speedrunning video. Let me know in the comments. Throwing down another block of TNT by the dragon's face, letting that light from the fire from the bed explosions to chunk the dragon just under half. Another one shortly after that, and they're at 25%. With my final block of TNT, they're 1 bed explosion away from death. And I took the risk. I didn't want to wait for the next purge, so I decided to shoot my shot. I've done it! I've beaten this game in the most ridiculous way yet. All the beds. But check it out. Mobs. I can't even click it. Back into the overworld, I sailed back north, returning to my village a victor with a chest full of beds to show that I had tried. And that's it. That's the video, right? It's only day 75. We ended a little bit early, but actually, you know what? I have a little bit of an idea. Now, I don't think we'll actually be able to get a beacon block unless we're allowed to kill stuff. But, what have we got the emeralds for it? Yeah, let's do that. So, let's get a full emerald beacon before 100 days is up. The thing is, I can't just hoard emeralds. I need to increase overall production if I'm going to be able to actually hit that target. So I can't just harvest trees. I need to be able to move faster. I made another smithing table going in the next day, waiting for a villager to bind to it. And this is where I'm going to spend a significant amount of emeralds getting them leveled up. I'm hoping for a diamond axe, specifically one with an efficiency enchantment. Even just a diamond axe alone would be double the speed of the stone axes that I have to work with right now, and it is punishing to flip-flop between this and the hardcore world. The difference of max tools versus starter gear is just immediately visible. And if I'm investing in the infrastructure of the village, that includes more villagers, throwing down more beds so more villagers can spawn via breeding up the wolves to breed up more of an army to protect me and this town, and going out in the evenings using creepers to blow up for dirt. Ending up with a little bit of oak wood, which will be nice for an accent if I actually choose to build something. I'm going to need all of this dirt so I can plant additional trees, so I'm not just waiting on one to grow. Minimizing downtime is extremely important, and a few pigs will be sacrificed along the way, running pork chops as a bird away. On the morning of day 8, I am going to try to clean up some of the creeper explosions around the village, though. I converted some of my sand into sandstone, halfway covering this crater, and making a platform in the water to scale up on melon production. As that was happening, we had a new visitor. Oh, hello. Say something good. Oh. That is so much. Yes. Yes, we will buy that. Only you sold sugar cane. Mangrove wood would be really nice. I haven't built with it much, and having such a limited block palette is making me really interested to try to include it into a base somehow. I planted and bone mealed as many melon seeds as I could to just have production start scaling up, buying a mangrove propagule and getting that planted. Going into day 81, I can finally trade in all of my potatoes to get a few more emeralds here and there, using a lot of that into pickaxes, which I set on fire, along with the toolsmith accidentally when I'm not careful. Thankfully, they survived, and they're up to the diamond hoe level, which means I can get them leveled up for a little bit cheaper, using those hoes to break all of the mangrove leaves and get mangrove wood, another new item from my build palette. I'm rushing to harvest all of the trees, harvesting all of the cactus that I had planted and making myself a composter, which would allow me to turn that into more bone meal. And the benefit is it gets me another farmer villager the next day. I traded in all the melons and the sticks, crafting up my first 6 blocks of emeralds, and I'm finally off the mark when it comes to making this beacon. 18 days to go. Another wandering trader just spawned, giving me moss, which could be potentially really huge in being able to ramp things up. I went to the toolsmith, grabbed a couple more diamond hoes, and crossed my fingers, hoping for a diamond axe. I will take that. No more stone axes. That was potentially not worth the investment. You never know. Definitely cost. Now finally being able to use a quality tool to harvest all of these trees, things are going faster. The investments are starting to pay dividends, and with double Fletchers and trees growing as fast as I can, the occasional iron ingot left from somebody dying on one of my campfires in the evenings, we're making progress in our overall production. Alright, we've been at the Beacon Challenge for about 5 days now, and we've made 0 progress towards it, which is probably not a good sign. But I did spend all of day 83 laser focused on economics, which is how I noticed that one of my villagers had disappeared. One of my Fletchers was just gone. I went over to Nether, finding a wolf and an iron golem, but it was in the hole that I had halfway patched that my Fletcher and the Nitwit had gotten stuck in conversation. I left the Fletcher out, buried the Nitwit never to be heard from again, and traded with them in the evening going into day 84 where I saw an Iron Golem kill an Enderman. I didn't even know that was a thing that could happen. Alright, now we're actually off the mark. 5 emerald blocks out of my inventory, out into the world. Another 13 crafted immediately after. I am broke. I have no emeralds to my name, but I don't really have anything I need to spend money on anymore. I want to get this beacon complete. And I finally have the overall footprint of the beacon fully mocked out in the village. It's going to be a little out of place, but it's going to look pretty cool if I can actually pull this off. The next morning, I did another round of converting all of the wood into emeralds, throwing another block down, and using a few of the emeralds to figure out what sus stews my farmer villagers would sell me. There was night vision and weakness. Both were a little weird for the desert. 2 more blocks for the emerald pile, and I grabbed all of my seeds that I had accumulated through the last 85 days, dumping them all into the composter, trying to get more bone meal so I could get more trees, and also more dirt. Be surprised how that works. Day 86, and I'll explain it to you. I went out into the desert to convert a little bit of sand into moss with my bone meal, thinking that maybe I could get dirt from that, except it doesn't convert sand. Yeah, I'm silly, it doesn't convert sand, it converts dirt! And it has these azalea bushes, which are a nice new item, but can also help us get dirt. It makes rooted dirt underneath and oak wood, so we have more colors for accents. I collected up all of the moss that had spawned from the singular block that I had bone mealed, and then spent a little bit of time just bone mealing individual azalea bushes to get more rooted. From there, I headed home, collected all of the melons that I could see, and converted the rooted dirt into regular dirt, getting some hanging roots as a new item. From there, I combined the dirt with gravel to get coarse dirt, which you can then hoe back into regular dirt, basically getting a 2-to-1 return on your investment. So from 1 block of moss and a little bit of gravel, I had made 15 blocks of dirt. Chief would be proud, and it was allowing me to expand my melon platform to make a few more emeralds each day. I planted all of those melons on day 87, and those melons growing is my primary passive income. 1 more block for the beacon. We're at 22 as I'm harvesting trees, and this helps to add more blocks to the overall progress, but it's active time that I need to spend. We ended the day with 25 blocks, and we are just frankly behind pace. We need to scale up even further. So I planted down all of the trees that I could, making a barrel and a few other items, because if we're not going to complete this beacon, I'm ending this world with something worth leaving behind. The next morning, I smelted up a little bit of the cobblestone that I had left into smooth stone, making myself a stone cutter and popping down some different trees. I'm going to build myself a little house that will contain everything that I'm leaving behind in this world. A monument to the fact of our scrappy beginnings and everything we had done. I'm using jungle wood for the walls, stripped mangrove as a little accent, and sandstone as the overall base, making sure to consistently harvest all of the big trees whenever they grow so we can make a little bit of money here and there. The melons I'll usually harvest each night after they grow consistently throughout the day, and I spent some time getting some more mangrove wood to be able to expand the house a little bit further. Day 89, after my morning round of trading from the resources I collected the last night, that's 3 more blocks of emeralds into the beacon, and I don't know, it could go either way right now. I harvested and traded in all of the potatoes, and while waiting for crops and trees to grow, I'm building out my house. The mangrove is a great accent. It's a pop of color in this sea of endless sand, but with all the blocks put together, the limited things that I can actually work with, it's a little weird, a little disorienting. I traded in all of the emeralds that I had, adding another 4 blocks to the beacon. We're at half a stack of blocks when we end this day, harvesting melons through the morning into day 90, where I'm just throwing down all of the jungle wood that I can, using fences for a lot of the windows, since I can't really make glass, trading in all of the emeralds that I can, and while I'm waiting for the trees to grow, I can't take it. I hate this house design. We're gonna start over. I spent a little bit of time demolishing the entire thing, instead deciding to build a little bit of what would look like a watchtower or a fortress, somewhere where I could oversee my subjects in the emerald-based village, and this is already starting to feel a little bit better. As I was working on all of the details, though, a witch wandered into town, which was a bit of a problem. Myself and all of my wolves were completely poisoned. Me sitting at half a heart in the middle of this town, surrounded by all of my wolves, they're also on the brink of death as well. I harvested all of the melons once I could finally recover, and then I ran out later in the evening using creepers to blow up sand, which I can convert into sandstone. It's a horrible conversion rate, but it's the only way I can get more blocks to actually complete the tower. Day 91, I'm using all of the different variants of sandstone and a little bit of sand as well to form a natural grate, making a spruce roof, and the different jungle logs, making a spruce roof, using jungle fences for all the windows and accents, and mangrove for the entrance so it has that pop of color. After not being able to build in this world for so long, I kind of got lost in my mindset, trying to find accents and details, enjoying the challenge of having so few blocks to work with, that I kind of let the economic portion of the challenge fall off the wayside for just one day. By the time that it was approaching the evening, and I remembered what I actually had to do to complete this, I only got one round of trading with all of the villagers, not even spending the time to convert it into blocks and throw it on the beacon. Instead, I had to deal with a husk attack in the middle of the night, and the only iron golem left was once again trapped inside that stall in the middle. I placed out the bed that I've been carrying with me since day 45 in the tower, slept, and the next morning realized I need to get that golem out of there. So I leaded them up and out, placing melons to form a roof on that stall. That's one emerald sitting right there. If I miss it by one, that's why. I traded the rest of my stock into all of the villagers, ending up with a total of 5 additional blocks onto the beacon. From there, I harvested all of the crops. Almost all of them were at full growth, and my new farmer villager collected potatoes. How perfect. One more emerald for the beacon, and I'm harvesting all of the mangrove wood, using fence posts to hold the roof of the whole thing up, and using the roots as a thatch area. You can still see the sun, see the sky, but it provides shade. It's a pergola kind of cover that you can't really build in Minecraft any other way. I did end the night by planting more mangrove propagules, thinking that maybe we just make the entire bay look a little bit more intentional, running around to get a little bit more sand to be able to complete this tower fully. Day 93, and I need to complete this roof in this tower so that I can focus on the economics and try to really bring this one home on the W. With all of the blocks that I can manage put into place, the thing is fully constructed, and honestly, for the restrictions that I had on myself, the fact that all of these blocks came from one emerald, that feels really good. It feels a little bit more of a challenge to build in this way. Plus, I have the meaning of life's worth of blocks on the beacon, and maybe that's the true lesson to learn along this way. The other lesson being that wolves absolutely kill husks, but you need to make sure that they don't die after that. I threw 2 more blocks onto the beacon late into the evening, crafting up over a full stack of torches, and deciding it was finally time to make the village just a little bit safer. We still need mobs, but we want them a little further away. 6 days to go, and I'm adding a little bit of greenery to the tower to make it look like an oasis or something that just is taken a little bit more care of, not abandoned next to this very strange looking village. I took all of the wool and the few different dyes that I could get my hands on to make a few different colored bandits. Harkening back to my Game of Thrones video, I went with a blue and white color scheme, which I think contrasts the rest of the desert pretty well. I'm throwing potatoes at my rookie villager to get them leveled up, harvesting all of the trees in my spiralized pattern. I'm probably gonna break this axe before the 100 days is over. No unbreaking and no mending. These tools don't last as long as you would think they do. With 48 blocks of emeralds, I'm approaching the point where I can complete the bottom level, and I only have 6 days to do everything else. Thankfully, it's the biggest. Maybe this is still possible. 5 days to go, and we're gonna see if it is. I started by planting a few more mangrove trees to really commit to the bay, tortured the chickens for a little while to make sure they remember their place, and headed back over to the savannah area to get a little bit more dirt from my azalea trees. More moss is definitely great, more oak wood definitely comes in handy. Torturing the chickens makes me feel like I have some purpose in my life remaining. I converted all of that to dirt, and then remembered I can plant it on top of moss blocks. Well, okay, I didn't need to do any of that conversion. I threw another 4 blocks of emeralds down onto the tower, getting myself... Hey Siri, what's 9 times 52?
9 times 52 is 468.
Being just short of 500 emeralds overall committed to this project, we're about a third of the way there. Instead of building out from the center, I made it an overall square so we could have a better idea of our progress, putting all the dirt down and unleashing the dogs of war as zombies continue to attack throughout the night. Once we were safe and the sun was starting to rise, I made a few item frames as a brand new item, throwing up a couple key items from my history, including an emerald, so we all know that this is the house that capitalism built. With that, I harvested melons and cacti going into day 96, where I replanted the cactus fields and threw everything I could in for more bone meal. With that, I was able to complete another row of the melon farm, so that production is now 50% higher, throwing all the sticks that I can, collecting more wood, which turn into more sticks, which turn into more emeralds, which turns into another 4 blocks for the beacon. With the melons turned in, that's 57 blocks overall, and with potatoes turned in and a little bit more trading, we're at 59. I was very economically focused. I didn't really complete any building projects on day 96, but I did get 2 full trading cycles in, getting us to 60 emerald blocks, which is 540 emeralds so far. And we're in the home stretch. I've done the math. If I don't miss a single trade, if I harvest every single block, and if I get another Fletcher villager somehow, I can maybe make it. It's going to be very, very close, and it counts on the melons and when they grow. I traded everything I could in, getting up to 62 blocks, and then remembering I can just use the moss to make a few more big spruce trees. It would actually convert the moss into dirt, and that's something I didn't know. I'm learning something this late into the challenge. With all of those sticks traded in, it's 4 more blocks, basically 4 blocks per trading cycle, ending up with 66 emerald blocks in the bottom of it. And as I ate my pies and looked out over my dog army, I'm starting to get a little bit wistful. This world has been an interesting challenge, a different rule set that I've placed on myself that I don't normally do. When I do these 100 days, I usually know what they're going to feel like going into them. I have an idea. I have a mod pack, or some new challenge, some twist.
I knew it, god
this
damn it.
kind of came out of left field. It felt like something completely fresh and new, and it made me look at the game with a different eye. Every item was precious. Every small bit of forward progress, a massive undertaking. I remembered back to when it was day 20, and I had a furnace, and I was excited about that. And now I'm in full diamond armor, full diamond tools, and I'm trying to rush towards a beacon, something that most people think is an end-game accomplishment. I ended the day with 76 emerald blocks set out into the world, more wealth than I had acquired in the entirety of this 100 days combined. And while it fell short of what I wanted originally, it still felt like an amazing accomplishment. And as I walked out into my town on the morning of day 99, my final day in this world, I had an idea. I'm sitting here thinking maybe a beacon was a little bit too presumptuous. So,
I got an autosave.
With our objectives somewhat changed and our criteria for success modified, we traded 1 green block for another. These melons, realistically, even though I made far more from stick trades, these melons were the true passive income that helped me really flourish and accomplish something in this world. So it feels only right having the beacon be melon cored. And almost as if it was meant to be, it worked out perfectly. Just enough blocks of emeralds that they're visible from the outside, and just enough melon that the entire thing is solid. I took this cursed beacon, throwing the wither skull down on top of it, completing what was an interesting take on the overall goal of the challenge. From there, I breeded up all my wolves, allowing them to roam free to defend the village, throwing all of my items into the chests that waited here, smelting up 1 bit of stone to craft myself up an armor stand, my final new item in the game, and throwing my diamond armor to rest in the tower. Armed with just 1 emerald in my inventory, leaving this world hopefully better off than I had found it, I headed out of the village, walking off into the desert towards my next adventure. Thanks for everything, village. Good luck with the new economy. There's about to be a market crash once you all realize the pile of money sitting in the middle of the town. There's one thing I desperately wanted to know, though. If we had been able to break just 1 block. Oh no! I knew something green would be the death of me in the end. I hope you all enjoyed the video. The names on screen are my amazing patrons. If you want to join them in helping support me make amazing If you ask me, the hardest part about making a 100 Days video is figuring out what you're gonna do. I've seen people take on ancient mobs, just become as rich as possible, build gigantic structures, but I'm gonna go a different route. I'm gonna do what Minecraft tells me to. There are 102 advancements in Minecraft 1.19. Everything from getting a stone pickaxe to applying every single effect to your player at the same time. I'm gonna get all of them in a brand new world in 100 days. And shout out to the OG Switchback Mongo. Make sure to check out his video once you're done watching mine. And by the way, there's a link to my Discord in the pinned comments. Go join that so you can be in my next big video. But alright, let's get this started. And as I loaded into the world, ready for a new adventure, here we go. I started out the world by punching down a tree, one of the most iconic things in Minecraft. From there, I made some basic tools, saw a little bit of exposed stone, and using a wooden pick to get Stone Age, my very first advancement in this world. From there, I crafted up a boat and some stone tools for getting an upgrade, heading out onto the ocean, seeing what I could find around me. There was a large nether portal which had some pretty decent gold tools, but I'm not going to try to get that gold block yet. Instead, I'm focusing on getting some flint and killing a whole bunch of animals. I'm honestly a bit of a menace to the wildlife in this world, I'm warning you. Now, I'm eating the raw food not because I'm an idiot, but because I'm going to need that for a balanced diet, and just knocking that out right away. But don't worry, I'm not going to test my stomach for the entire 100 days. I cooked up some food so I actually had something to survive with. From there, I continued sailing along the coast, finding the very first village in a pretty perfect spot, actually. Broke and replanted some of their crops for a seedy place, and then did the one thing that I absolutely never do in Minecraft, slept for advancement number 4. I spent a little bit of time killing the iron golem fire hardware, finding an abandoned nether portal right here by the village, and this is honestly a perfect setup. I crafted a bucket and a flint and steel, murdering quite a few more cows before saving the village from the temptation of drugs. I'm gonna need that later anyway. While there, I ate a raw potato to continue on my balanced diet, and brought up some bees to get myself the parrots and the bats advancement. But it's back to the ocean. Play me ye pirate music in the background. Grabbing a treasure map, which will help a lot, and some armor and foods in the front of the boat, which I will definitely need. I started following on the map, finding my way to another village, which I slept there very quickly. I'm still basically made of tissue paper right now. Killing their golem for more iron, and stealing everything that wasn't nailed down, including some things that were, including parts of their houses. I did my best Rooney impression from the Game of Thrones scenario, making my way down the river towards where the treasure was buried, getting a heart of the sea, and a bunch of gold, iron, and explosives. All of those would come in handy. But my inventory is looking quite full, so I jumped back in the boat, sailed back towards the original village I decided I was facing out of, and dropped off everything into the first chest. I'm gonna apologize now. The inventory management situation never gets any better for the entire 100 days. Go ahead and cancel me. The next day I converted a lot of that iron into armor, so I wouldn't go ahead and start dying, releasing all of the farmers that have been trapped inside of a pen, and trading with one for what a deal. Grabbed myself an iron pick and then had to have a conversation. Discover a better drawing experience in Clip Studio Paint. Clip Studio Paint comes with fully and trading with one for what a deal. Grabbed myself an iron pick and then had to have a conversation with the locals. My bed. Get out of my bed. Mine. There I grabbed a bucket of some hot stuff and stored it off onto the side, carefully casting a nether portal right here at the village, which would prove extremely critical to my success. From there, I headed off to the nether, spawning in, and you know it, a basalt delta. Of course, it's a basalt delta. There's literally lava on one side of my portal. Cannot believe this always happens. I started doing a little bit of exploring in the nether, and it was not looking promising. On second thought, this is a silly place. Let's go home. Back to the overworld and back to the ocean, the antithesis of the nether. I sailed out, finding multiple different ocean monuments and a second ship with a decent little bit of treasure waiting inside. There's a map with no treasure on it whatsoever. Oh, that's weird. That's weird. It didn't generate a treasure. I've never seen that happen before. But I'm mainly just checking for POI. I found another ruined nether portal that had some meh loot inside and considered really taking some risks. Okay, a small part of me knows that this is potentially a really bad idea, but I really, and I mean really need to get that trident. So, okay, let's Let's see if we can do this. Ow. They just break the mode? Oh no, they just broke the mode. Now I actually
Alright, we're ready for the
do
rematch.
this.
Absolutely.
Oh, that was our first kill. Oh, that would have been amazing. Nope, I'm drowning. I continued sailing, finding a proper treasure map this time, and I set a Frostwalker boot so I can pretend to be Tunisia. And I still hadn't reached the other side. Portals were giving me meh loot, so I turned around. I'll see the other side of this giant abyss of an ocean someday. On the way back, I did get a bit of a jump scare. Oh my god, that scared me. When we can fly, we're absolutely figuring out what's on the other side of this massive ocean. Eventually making my way back towards the village and figuring if not by sea, then by land, I should explore what's around where I'm basing up. I made my way up a huge set of mountains, seeing emeralds and other valuable ores in the distance. Getting down to get them, every single one of those is one more trade. I killed a spider, a skeleton, and a zombie. Basic mobs, but I do need them for monsters hunted. And I tried really hard for a while to get my own personal limits. Come on, no, come on, I want this to happen. Come on. Oh, nope, nope, nope. Come here. I'm committed now, I want this disc. Never mind, I'm not committed anymore. I did end up killing an Enderman for a pearl and a child for the cloud, getting the zombie villager down as well, because there's no way I'm getting them all the way back to home. Running through the forest and cresting the hill to the sunrise going into
it's fully charged again, yeah. Absolutely ready for real now.
From there I set up a little bit of a multi-course meal and decided it was time to venture back into the nether. This time with some gold armor on so I wouldn't be attacked by my piggy friends. Having to fight some giant bouncy angry cubes who were trying to push me into lava, I eventually made my way out of the basalt deltas and into the nether wastes and into the fortress or terrible fortress, finding a blaze spawner almost instantly, but opting for the enclosed one instead. My very first blaze killed landing me a rod for continued fire. Looting a lot of the chests, I found horse armor and saddles, but most importantly, nether and diamonds for another advancement. I continued my way through the fortress, getting all of the chests and all of the nether work that was here, and then spent some time farming blazes. I'm still very early on, so I don't want to take too much damage, so I just boxed them off and stabbed them in their bottom ankle parts, netting more than enough blaze rods which would get me to the stronghold and for some potions as well. After I was done with blaze murder, I boated off of the fortress, seeing a few piglins in the distance and trapping them all in a hole for some capitalist, trading. Nabbing ice bucket challenge and who's cutting onions from different obsidian things. From there, I bridged across the lava to a warped forest I had seen in the distance, trapping Enderman in a boat and killing them, trying to get enough eyes so I could eventually find the stronghold. The terrain here wasn't the best, so it did take a lot of searching around and a lot of murder. And while I was only about 3/4 of the way towards the pearls I needed, I was out of food, so it was back to the overworld for a quick stop. Oh, let's get out of here. Oh, some creepers. Nope. Time for sleep. I will now celebrate by poisoning myself. Once I had recovered from my bad but necessary dietary decision, I grew a few trees in the center of the village just for wood until one big one grew, and nope, it's lore now, it stays there for some reason. Seeing that, I was able to craft a campfire, heading over to the beehive that was right here for Bee Our Guest, which I'm gonna need for honey blocks down the road. As it started to get a little bit rainy, I trapped a villager inside a netherite box, putting a lightning rod on top of their heads. Don't worry, friend, you will help at some point in the future. Just hang out there for a little while. Spoiler alert, they stayed there for a very, very long time, and I do not feel at all guilty about it, and you will see why in just a little bit.
The respawn mechanic works really differently.
Up to a higher level, hoping for a pearl trade, recruiting a Fletcher inside one of the other houses as my primary resource generation, trading sticks for emerald. It's slow going now as I have to chop down logs, but I'm going to have a lot of world exploring that I have to do. And once I can find bamboo, that's going to be a cash cow. Into day 9, I'm still just deforesting most of the area, grabbing all of the logs, converting all of them into sticks, and trading them in for money. And now you're going to see why I don't feel guilty about leaving this villager in the hold until their eventual demise. Please be good. Please be pearls. Do not be bottles. Please. Please be pearls. Well, I don't mind if you get struck by lightning. I grabbed a bow from the Fletcher because I totally make it good if I financial decisions and started brewing up a few fire-resistant potions so I'd be more equipped to fight blazes and get a lot more blaze rods. By day 10, when I woke up, I'm feeling it. I'm in a good mood, so let's craft up the eyes and see just how far away the stronghold is. Throwing my first eye, it sent me in a southward direction towards another village, which was definitely helpful. I killed their golem off camera and then remembered, oh, I should probably have a shield, crafting one while I continued searching for the stronghold. I was doing a little bit of underwater mining, digging into a massive cave, which I just love 1.19 cave generation. Finding a few diamond ores in the distance, thank you complimentary shaders.
Just get it.
I did a little bit more general exploration through the Dripstone caves, picking up not today thank you while fighting off one of the skeletons, breaking my axe and my chest plate at one point, which would become a theme of this 100 days. So to repair that, I went underwater, grabbing a little bit more iron, smelting that up to be able to craft a new chest plate and a new primary weapon. Eventually, I found the spot where the eyes dipped underground, digging down, and not directly, I'm not an animal, ending up with the eye spy advancement and continuing an extremely scuffed stronghold navigation. This thing had intersected with a mine shaft and multiple geodes, multiple dungeons that it had overlapped. It was an absolute nightmare to explore. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? There's a dungeon too? This overrode a dungeon, a geode, and a mine shaft. What the heck? It actually overrode multiple of all of those things, but I only found that out as I continued to explore it. And I had gone down literally every branch of this thing, and there was no clear path to a portal. Every single room was blocked. Found another spawner that was not completely heated, grabbing all the gunpowder out of that, which would prove useful in the future. But I literally went through every single door, marking and blocking off the tunnels behind me, and there was nothing. I could not find it. I am generally frustrated and I need to step away from this for a minute. I am not kidding when I said I was exploring this stronghold for almost a half an hour, and I finally got it. I'm getting heated right now, just looking at this footage and being reminded of this, and then this moment happened, and I was vindicated so badly. There's more stone brick right there. If it's gonna be there the whole time, I'm gonna be
Yeah, wow, that's pretty cool. I don't like the Linkle, the Sheikah outfit.
Are you
in Linkle
kidding me?
3.0.
So yeah, the geode blocked
I
it,
decided to
and
get
I pushed that
this.
aggression out on the silver
A
fish
replacement.
spawner, and then
That I
any of
think
those
looks
little
nice.
buggers who happen to be in render distance.
Oh, the Kakariko you caught
Zero
us.
eyes. Being
Nice,
poor and
but
short on eyes, I casted another nether portal right here in the portal room, which would definitely come in handy for a traversal later. Ending up in a ravine and just looking all Endermen in the eyes to lure them to their death. Well, that was easy, but now we need to go get blaze rods. With enough pearls in my pocket, I headed in the direction of what I thought was my home portal, because I know I needed a little bit more blaze powder to convert these into Eyes Bender. Turns out, though, I was wrong, and I got very, very lost, heading to an entirely separate nether fortress, killing blazes there, and getting the end result that was exactly the same, but having to fight quite a few wither skeletons and some hoglins at the same time. A very tense, very troublesome build, where I also broke my axe again, and I just relied on closing myself into a box. Luckily, I grabbed a screenshot of my coordinates of my stronghold portal, so I checked that and was able to navigate my way back to the ravine, heading back into the stronghold. And from there, my world would only get weirder. Oh, cursed door. I headed my way up to the surface, doing axe fishing for the entirety of the day, getting enough salmon and then smelting that up so that I would have a reliable food source going into the dragon hunt. And then I was busy by my bench
Here
with my
we
Mongo, who
go.
did this challenge as well. Go check out his video when you're done watching mine. He also brought me some leaves and some leather, how kind. As I hopped into the world and grabbed the end advancement, the end fight is something that I am quite familiar with at this point. I did, however, get take aim shooting the dragon, so I think that really helps them setting the tone for what this world is. But as I was approaching the tail end, despite that Enderman broke my shield, causing me to panic, having to run near the edge of the island and throw down a pool of water, and since they don't like showering, they would just stay on the outside, not able to attack me. Once that was out of the way, eliminating the dragon was just the next link in the chain. Let's go! Okay, now here's the big brain flip on that. You get a little bit of it, we'll leave the rest, we'll be back later. Once back into the old world, I was back to work, chopping down trees, which I can convert into sticks to emeralds. But I also made a quick
we're right into the fight.
that there are some key books that I am definitely going to need, and now I have the levels to do some enchanting as well. So I took a quick nap going into day 15, trapping a villager in a small little box, putting a lectern in front of them, and getting to work. Oh no, no, I didn't mean to do that. I'm so sorry. We're not going to give me
We didn't know that was how that would work.
No. Oh, I'm supposed to have shaders on. How long were they off? Why didn't any of you tell me? These shaders will give me good luck. Nope. Oh. Yes. Okay. 41 emeralds. Stay there. Don't do anything. We're gonna lock in the trade before it gets too late. We'll come back and actually do it until it is. Okay, I'm breaking. But with one more down, I found another villager into a villager process the next day. And as soon as I reconnected to the world, I got a stroke of amazing luck. No shot did that just happen. Are you serious right now? I can't believe it. I literally just logged back in. Okay, hold on. We need to get you somewhere safe and secure. Yeah, we need to get you to move towards, yes, mending, yes, okay. We're locking you in because, oh my god, you're amazing. Alright, let's get you somewhere safe. You chill right there. I literally just logged back in after having dinner. That's amazing. With very clear prices for the books that I needed, I kept chopping down trees, converting all of that into sticks, and trading that with my Fletcher to be able to get a whole bunch of emeralds. Doing a little bit of fishing while they reset getting fishy business as the next event. Once I purchased the book, I got all of the sugarcane and more trees, organizing my inventory and heading underwater for a little bit of stay-at-home adventure, auto! The book, I got all of the sugarcane and more trees, organizing my inventory and heading underwater for a little bit more iron so I would be able to craft up an anvil. And there I accidentally dug into a cave. It's got tense. Oh my god. Terrifying. A little bit more prepared this time, I went back down into the cave, getting a ton of iron. There was iron basically everywhere that you could look around here, and I'm pretty sure it was actually okay. I smelted all of that up, getting several blocks worth, which I was able to craft into an anvil, which would be pretty much essential once I got it. From there, I traveled through the nether, knowing where both of my portals were, making my way into the stronghold, jumping into the end portal, finding enough blocks, and grabbing the remaining experience, though I hadn't done any enchanting. I just did into despawn, heading up to the end gateway and around the remote gateway. Oh, you'd love to see it. Going straight over towards the first bed city, hitting the city at the end of the game and doing the best I can to make smokers really complicated. There's a ton of diamonds here and in diamond armor. You can cover weight with diamonds, which was a benefit and kind of the reason why I haven't been practicing it. But I don't have feather clothing. That's a key advancement that I'm missing, which I usually have when I'm in the end, and that would be terrible. But I used the levitation to float my way over to the boat, climbing in with the shoulder that was the guardian of my
Now's your chance.
Here in the end, my wings, it's time to soar. Yes! The chests here weren't bad either. A bunch of golds and protection pants and an efficiency 4 mending diamond pickaxe. Definite wins here. I crafted up a few shoulders, needing it to be elytra with mending, and things are looking good. Take that. Montage.
Just like that.
so transport's going to get a lot quicker, which is important because we're going to be doing a lot of exploring very soon. I sailed over towards the nearby village, grabbing a cat for best friends forever, and starting my roll towards a completed town. From there, it's hitting every portal you can find, trying to find a god apple, eventually grabbing all of the gold blocks for a beacon, which we will need, and taming more cats so we can breed them and also get the gold set. On day 21, I found my way to a jungle biome, which is going to accelerate my economy immensely. Grabbing bamboo for that, and some melons and cocoa beans for different food groups, and heading my way back towards my original village. Planting all of that down, and grabbing a fishing bucket for tactical fishing. There, I grabbed a spruce log just to have a whole bunch of wood for supplies, crafting up an enchanting table, and buying a crossbow from the Fletcher because I made a good financial decision for this. Since I grabbed so much, I grabbed and replaced the beehive for total relocation, and worked on sniper kills and later tonight. And ready to go. Day 21, we're fifth of the way through the challenge, and just about a third of the way through the advancements I need to do. It started raining, and I figured since I was wet anyway, let's go underwater and hunt some drown. I'm going to need to be trident for several key advancements along the way, and while this child didn't drop their battle fork, I was not going without that easily. I had another treasure map which I picked up from the tier 8, and it was surrounded by so many drowned. I need Nautilus shells and tridents, so any of the others that are spawning are not really my bag. When I spent all day and most of the time flying around hunting them and had basically nothing to show for it. That wasn't fun. Day 22, I planted all the sugarcane, grabbed an unbreaking 3-0 from my ATM villager, and finally fully enchanted my sniper back into the nether since my exploring range was greatly increased. Not much I need to shiny advancement and flying, eventually finding a bastion, wishing I had some gold, getting over the days while landing on it. I thankfully had fire resistance and a whole bunch of arrows, so I was able to take out all of the piglins quite indiscriminately, opening up a chest full of war pigs, and finding some ancient debris inside of a chest for hidden in the depths. That's a lot of advancements very quickly, but it's only about to excel. I got pig step, which isn't an advancement, but absolutely should be. Continue flying around the Exalt Sand Valley for and as soon as I landed the first arrow, I saw an inkling of the cheese. Yes, let's go! 2 purples back to back. 6 advancements in one day, and I was feeling pretty good. I blew through another bastion and a hit and run, finding more netherites trapped in their chests. Just continue to search around for any POIs that I can hit for a quick resource. It was then that I began to go fuel, and things almost ended really bad. Stupid. With that very close and entirely my fault fall, I headed up into the fortress, barricading myself off on combat here, making another portal, getting an advancement to turn Lemon to Lemonade. But I was very far from home, I had very little food and no practice, so I spent a little time just decimating the pig population. Not gonna lie, this is a bit of a pickle. I'm 8,000 blocks away from home, with no gunpowder, and then I thought I would have the Giga Shad moment, the absolute biggest brain of all. So instead of waiting until I was done for gunpowder, I went back into the nether, finding and killing a few enemies to get myself a pearl. From there, I dug all the way up to the nether room, found just the right opportune moment, and pearled through to the nether room. And while I was running back towards spawn, I started thinking about what were my key priorities and which advancements should I prioritize so I could get them early enough that I didn't have the rest of them sneaking up on me at the very end of the challenge. But I think my problem here is infrastructure. I was able to make a portal and return back to the village taking a well-deserved getting to day 25, and, well, so I guess you could say that incident in the nether was a sticky situation.
Unleash your power.
Enchanted advancement before I could go ahead and try to get Luigi 3 via a lectern. There we go, that's what I need. instantly threw that on the sword, getting sharpness as a bonus. And while I'm waiting for it to get dark, so I can better enchantment to use, I set up temporary block and started focusing on the bullseye. I knew I could get this a little bit later with the redstone contraption, but I wanted to try to get it legitimately. So I went pixels at a time in the low DPI mode that I never use because I don't really play shooters anymore. Unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be, and hunting creatures throughout the rest of the night for gunpowder was immediately more profitable. Plus, I had mending on my pickaxe, so I was able to use that to repair. I don't need to worry about a totem or a shield on my outfit right now because I'm doing okay. Seriously, night 25 is where things started to take a turn, and I had a lot of the advancements and infrastructure that I needed to actually manage our costs. An experience into when I started to dominate this game. On day 26, I watched one of these skeletons and reported to them up. They got trapped on the campfire and killed themselves there too. Dang it. So with no bees left, I grabbed the last little bit of honeycomb from there and wax off. Wax off. Right after I got that though, it started raining, and I was really hoping it would be a thunderstorm so I could teach that villager a lesson, but once I realized it wasn't, I flew out to a bunch of different villages, taming 3 different cats at the Savannah village over, and we're not going to talk about what happened to one of them. And as I'm out on these adventuring parties, I'm checking any ruined portal I can, trying to find a god apple. I absolutely need one for a balanced diet, and to get how to get here. I did find a few drowned with nautilus shells in hand, which was definitely helpful. Getting back to the village and trying to put some time into getting the bullseye advancement. Don't worry though, I'd always spent half of a day just shooting arrows wildly at a target, so this time we're using a little bit of mechanical know-how and a bunch of arrows trapped in a trapdoor to get it with a flick of a lever. The next day though, I'm still out in search for a trident and to knock out any biomes I can. I captured another cat for the catalog, now only need a few more. Finding a bamboo jungle, grabbing a little bit of that, and breeding 2 pandas for 2x2. There I popped into a Savannah village, dumping almost a full stack of fish into this orange cat. It still didn't want to be my friend until it was nighttime. I'm not mad about that at all, I promise. But for some reason I was compelled with rage to kill a bunch of crowds throughout all of the night. 29, I was breeding the cat's mouth and heading out for yet another adventure, just trying to find tried and drowned, and I found multiple. Oh, there's 2. There's 3! Okay, one of these has to drop. Then 4. There's still 3 more right here! This has to be it. This has to be when we finally get it. Seriously? There were 3 of them right there! Oh! This is the worst! It's right there! Let me pick it up! After some unsuccessful milking collection, I did happen to find another 4-letter message distributed.
That was amazing.
I continued flying along this path, getting from the swamps to Snowlands, breeding another cat near a village, and killing a strafer monster hunted and a rabbit because, well, that would come in, would matter a lot on like day 87. Don't worry, that will come. I'm taking basically every cat I see, probably almost certainly getting some duplicates going into day 30, where I trapped a goat in a boat, jumping into it for 1 advancement, breeding 2 of them for 2x2, and then I wanted to get something that might not have been on my to-do list, but was definitely something
Hell yeah. And in this game they have special magic powers. Durable, but not that durable.
Okay. Yes, did it! Where's more?
I'm gonna use this 250. Epic.
This isn't an advancement, I just wanted one. goat horn in hand, I murdered my audience. There can be no evidence of this. Using one of their crossbows to shoot another one of them, and use the villager now. From there, my tour around the frozen lands continued, taking a few more cats and a dog. Just, being equal opportunity. 31, I'm continuing my biome world tour, searching for a few of the rarer deserts, badlands, and oh, look at that, ice boats.
The wall is now larger or something, apparently, I guess.
Just constantly asking, what one that I need? What one that I need?
Alright, so,
Right here.
my next destination is Death Mountain.
Stand still. I'm actually gonna do it. I was intending
But, we're gonna be doing a detour to Rito Village first.
Look, I don't have the patience
To get
the whole
stuff
stand
there.
is still in place and built so much as toucher. That was you want to be able to see the cats. I chased them down and shot fish until they raced to the club. With 3 more, I'm just missing the one that would come
Aw,
out.
yeah.
Grabbing a little bit of seagrass and bringing up some turtles for 2x2, flying over a coral reef, and finally finding a desert. And finding potentially the smallest desert ever, which I thought was a beach until the husks started spawning. Killed one of them for monsters once I was taking a nap, and then double checking on my advancement. Yep, just one cat left. And that one, I don't find in the village. But while we're making progress in all these advancements,
I'll go first
on the way
now.
home, I saw an underwater portal, and well, we made a really big step forward. Oh, that is amazing. I thought I'm gonna have to go to an agency for that. I can't believe I just ran. There I did a little bit of organizing.
I was thinking of enabling stone houses. The money would be very useful. But guardian parts are also a good enough source of income, albeit they do waste my inventory slots a lot.
Took all of the ancient debris that I had collected in my first blast mining trip, smelting it down and thinking I might not be able to get all of it in one go, but I definitely want to be a bit more protected with it than a chest plate. From here, I'm back out over the ocean flying around. I'm going to keep going until I get this truck. The first one that I killed didn't have anything, and while I was finding more with countless shells in their hands, they were more than willing to share. It took a while before I got what I was looking for. Finally! Oh, finally, I got it! Okay, that is huge. With the trident finally in hand, I need to get home and get that enchanted as quickly as possible. It needed bending, unbreaking, and channeling on it, because the window to get a thunderstorm is actually quite small. If I missed my opportunity, it's possible that I would not be able to chase one of these challenges. So that's what I was doing with the before, just economy, said capitalism, here we go. While I was waiting for the pleasure to restock on their trades in the second trading round of the day, I built a scaffolding tower all the way up to real height, and a hole all the way down to bedrock. We're gonna knock out several advancements all in one. As it got to the night, I was killing creepers, as I did almost every night before gunpowder rockets started to go flying around. Usually I build a farm, but in a temporal world like this, it didn't really make sense. And then I realized that one of my villagers had been converted into a zombie villager and was sitting the boats down in the coast. So I built a roof over their head to protect them, going into the next day brewing up some splash weakness potions, throwing one of them onto it and stuffing the golden apple in their face, continuing work on the tower to get it all the way up to build height, and doing more trades for my villagers for more emeralds. Made a spyglass for something we're going to do a little bit later when Zombie Doctor finally popped. As did them in the boat, standing up, where they almost suffocated to death. Oh, that was almost I'm ready. Since this was the first villager I had cured, I definitely wanted to turn them into a trader, so I get better rates. And on the second roll, I got them really one. Oh my god, it only took like 3 rolls. Oh, that's so good.
Hey.
I immediately upgraded my bow with it, so I would never have to worry about running out of arrows. And that's one fewer resource I need to worry about managing as I went flying flying off towards the desert. But as night fell, I realized there would be an advantageous move cycle to head back over to the swamp. Hopefully find some slimes that I could kill, and slime balls that I could use for rocks. Two had spawned, which I was able to take out pretty quickly, make my way down into a lucky cave, knocking that out.
I can get this quest done.
I also flew over a frozen ocean, finding several more frozen villages. On the morning of day 36, wandered my way into a villager town. Closest one to spawn that I could find, and it's over 2,000 jumps away. I did a casual bit of murdering for voluntary exile, freeing a few PLAs, giving and throwing a potato, and then for a few better friends and meat, one of the hidden benefits of that. There, I headed over to one of the villages that I had found in a nice isolated on one side.
One of the few people that don't fall for Link.
Take on raids in a hardcore world. I really rely on raid farm for any of the resources I would get. And by the way, my hardcore part of the series, I'll leave a link below the link. But I was keeping my distance using the ice to kind of mess with the villager just jump away and cover distance very quickly. There were a few incidents of friendly fire, but we're not going to talk about that, and I better not see anything in the comments. As an iron golem, or completely with the emotion and trapped inside this little mess, then be my first design. The fight continued all the way through the night, and effects were basically my biggest problem. That Power 5 bow a lot more than were spawning than I normally had to deal with. When the final wave of the raid was up, and we were talking over on Ravagers, that's where it started to get a little bit tricky, and I had quite a bit of just running and kiting, shooting down enemies from a distance. Thankfully, I had safely protected all of the villagers inside, meaning I could keep effectively controlling and just be picking them off occasionally whenever I had the opportunity. As I killed more villagers downtown, getting yet another token, all of them come in extremely handy. I got a few mobs down in the cave, and this raid that is unceremonious. Let's go! Nice. There, I flew home using the spoils of war and hero of the village, giving scouting trades on Unbreaking 3 and Vengeance, which I've been using to try to get that thing back up to one more spell that I was able to do a little bit of re-rolling with the lectern and one of the uncompleted villagers outside, getting channeling after just a few tries. Now, looking back at this footage, I passed on that. I passed on channeling 17, and instead I kept rolling for loyalty. I got 33 after a little while. I mean, it does help making sure the trident is more than single use, but why would I pass up on that? Why would I do that? Took me a good portion of the day trading in all the bamboo and sticks or emeralds, trading in a bunch of wheat to one of the partner villagers that was here to be able to pick up the loyalty right at the end of the day, and I still needed channeling. But at least the thing was chanted after meeting that I could finally repair it in my nightly hunting session, and to cap the night off, I let it fly for a throwaway joke. Which, funny story, was my band name back in college. But on the morning of day 39, I realized that with Hero of the Village active and my keyword villager, I had a positive loop, being able to trade bookcases for one, and then individual books for one, meaning I got a 2x return on any emeralds that I threw in. So I spent quite a little bit of time investing with them. Alright, time for like 3 advancements at once. This should be interesting. I've done this once or twice before, and it's a really cool way to hack the system. So, all we have to do roll down that way, straight up, open up the
Look at the thunderstorms. Look how often it lightning strikes. Jeez. Hyrule is a crazy place.
My totem.
Maybe the reason the weather is so crazy is because of Ganon. Who knows?
Oh no, I think I did it wrong. Do I have to go 1 punch down? Yeah. Oh no, I did it wrong! Just let this move this time. this for several months of varying levels of success and a decent bit of murder in there as well, with a stack and a half of splinters in my pocket. While I hadn't completed any advancements in the last few days, I definitely made massive progress on the regular, so I celebrated doing it. I started today by doing a little bit of repairs on my sword and my helmet, flying out and finding the next village over, putting down a big there, grabbing the hammer and eating all that for a little bit of time. Why did I have this in 3 days? But I guess without loyalty, it would have made doing as much as possible, so you know what? I think I absolutely knew what was going on. There, I continued to trying to find any new and different biomes that I could for adventure. Eventually stumbled my way onto the mangrove forest,
Oh my.
rocks there, reading up to them with slime balls and making a small tunnel for them to drop the frogs. There, we opened the frogs in the bucket so they wouldn't be going any further. We made a portal according to the coordinates. Since I had access to that, I'd be able to get back here to the portal on the other side of their corresponding coordinates. To make transporting these frogs a lot easier. But once the eggs hatched, I scooped up the tadpoles for bucket advancement and being able to breed those up in different climates. Flying my way through eroded grasslands and then desert, and the fact that I emphasized eroded, yeah, that's gonna come up later, trust me. I'm still collecting any obsidian that I can find for some of the later advancements that I'm worried about that I will definitely need that for. But as I was flying out over the plains, you know what's about to happen, right? Oh my goodness, hello!
Yes, demon carvers.
Never punished, never serious people, it's not even. Just wait here. Without fail, I love it. What do we do by celebrating?
Why do their wind cleavers also have 40 attack?
Now, you might not believe me, but if I hadn't found this pink sheet and these coordinates, I would have failed the entire 100 days challenge when that time came around. But I ended day 3 by shooting arrows off in the distance, and a random skeleton turns out I am the Withermark Network. Day 45 was about traveling and reading books. First, I read A Horse and a Donkey for a Mule, and then 2 horses together. The horse and chickens and breeding together. Wouldn't you know it? A horse. No, we saw people on the ground trying to figure out how the shells would have like this was right instead. Coordinates. I'm just running around searching for mobs right now, trying to complete 2 by 2. I read a few pages the next morning just to be sure. I wasn't sure if I had done it right this morning. Flying off in another direction, making my way over towards the mega taiga biome where I was grabbing those to eat them, but eventually spotting Zillion digging down immediately underneath it. I hope to be able to find some massive puddles there. I noticed a geode in the actual lush cave space, finding a whole bunch of diamonds throughout the majority of the night, and fighting creepers with gunpowder, and I just love what that 19 cave generation is. You wouldn't know it being underground and everything, but I spent all of day 46 just searching. On day 47, finding a few isolated water pools up in the corner, finding a few buckets and grabbing the tubes of bread. With a few of them in form in my inventory where they would keep for forever, I flew through another crack in the surface and back up to the overworld, finding a few foxes who I leashed together, fed berries, and bred them to. As I was pulling back up to home after this massive adventure party out, a thunderstorm began, and I needed to move quickly. First thing I realized was that I didn't have channeling on the tripod, so I threw that on as quickly as possible. But before I even had an opportunity, lightning struck the lightning rod, turning that villager into a witch, and it didn't count as being. So I flew to the next village over where everybody was a bit more free range, grabbed the surge protector from the lightning rod that was stuck on somebody's roof, and then throw me and tried it through their door, attempting to hit them with lightning. Realizing that they can't be outside, I hit them by zombie and got very, very frightened, running in the witch, and I realized as it continued to go off, this was my opportunity to get a zombie piglin kill without too much pain. Getting a pick with one of those and then eating them off the distance, that's one more bomb kill for almost person. Oh, that feels so I dumped axolotls in the bucket, but bringing both of them along with me for a fight. So I just touched the ground and then let the axolotls kill it, thinking that was what we need to do. That's what the advancement says. But it turns out that's not exactly true, and even after a couple different attempts, that wasn't working. It actually took quite a bit of Googling, getting my way to the Minecraft wiki and realizing that this advancement is basically backwards of what it says you actually have to do. So on day 49, with 2 of them still in buckets, I dove my way into an ocean of fun. Needed multiple enemies that were tagged at this point that then I could kill. The other way around. Once they had tagged one of the guardians, I followed up with a sword, stabbing them quite a few times in the face for the key power of friendship. It's funny how that works sometimes. But as I was trying to get my axolotls and get out, only one of them was remaining. Unfortunately, the healing power of friendship only goes so far. While I was mourning that loss, I headed home grabbing a bunch of wood and converting a little bit of it into a sign. Having killed a glow squid on my way back home and approaching the midpoint of this entire challenge, lo and behold, we were making big progress. Day 50, it's time to head back to the nether, but with an entirely different set of goals. I found a spot where I can just mine down to y equals 15, and it's time for some explosive bed mining. Normally, when I'm netherite mining, I have a ton of TNT. Beds is way slower and a little bit more dangerous. But I did eventually find a grand total of 3 pieces of netherite, and after mining those up and preparing for the next bed, well, we continued with the theme. Oh, no. Oh, that's massive. That hurts so much. I kept bed mining though after that, not realizing that I needed the diamond pick in order to mine the ancient debris. I'm good at this game, I promise I actually know what I'm doing. So the next day, we need a new diamond pickaxe and probably some more shulker boxes to be able to transport all the resources we're looking for. So a good idea would be heading over to the end, and being reminded of my mistakes by having to break the basalt by hand since there was no pickaxe available. I flew through the end gateway and over to the end cities, just trying to find any chests that I hadn't looted by time around. First couple of cities that I had visited were fully looted, so I just spent the rest of day 51 sailing off in one direction, just trying to find another city to potentially loot. And on day 52, I found a brand new city, which was really great. And while I was collecting shovel shells, I grabbed an efficiency 3 diamond pickaxe, and then noticed that I had a bunch of diamonds in the ender chest. I actually realized by the end of this video, I never used an ender chest at all. Maybe that's an extra bonus advance, but with a pickaxe and shells in hand, I flew back towards the city that I had cleared previously. When I had gotten my wings out originally, and there was a gateway right inside, and right about now my hard drive filled up with all of the recording. I had this in the Game of Thrones video, and another thing that I'm recording that will come later, and I didn't notice for a little while as I was building on a platform and a bridge. Eventually I cut off just after I had trapped the shulker in a boat, prepared to set them off on the bridge. Sailing them in this direction was extremely tense, and they'd hit me with a levitation ball right before I got in the boat. So when we went through the gateway, I got great view from up here by transporting not only 50 blocks down, but thousands of blocks laterally as well, which is a unique way to get this one. While we were on end advancements, I was reminded to pick up the egg for the next generation, putting it on top of some ancient debris, and then using a fortune pickaxe to mine down all of the diamonds and iron, so that we can set those up in platform for a Next morning, I did a little bit of creeper hunting to free up all the gunpowder supply, so I could continue flying around, searching around for mobs to raid and items to discover. I went flying in search of the deep dark, primarily diving into every hole that I could find, but saw a few donkeys that I was able to breed for 2x2, getting to 3/4 of the way there, and flying around the different jungle islands, grabbing anything from jungle biome. Flying around the jungle biome with hitboxes on, trying to get spawned eyes on the wall, and flying around the jungle biomes with hitboxes on for anything that looks vaguely like a cat, you know, but awesome, just wild cat. I didn't find a cat, but I did find a bird. Looking with it, faced by glass to get the, is it a bird? Verb?
No,
You know what verb is
dang
not?
it.
Verb is not part of 2x2 advancement because you cannot breed parrots. Oh dang, why? Why do you not breed parrots? But I realized as I was searching for ocelots, I didn't have enough fish in my inventory probably, so I did a little bit of sword fishing in the rivers, finding a jungle temple, which is the most
Yup.
Over towards a
Holy shit.
biome, finding an ocelot on top of a tree. I grabbed a lead in
Nice, I got the full set just like that. Well, actually, I'm still missing the head.
Another one would probably spawn. Right. Well, no, it turns out that's only actually boats. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little
Why?
about that. I'm average for a boat. Hey, on this challenge doesn't come enough. And after 3 Indian days of searching, an hour worth of searching, when I logged back in 2 days later, you know what I found? Found 2 cats. Almost immediately. I got them both on leads and bred the ocelots.
Very nice.
To fly around looking for additional biomes to explore. Any gold blocks that I find are going
Yep, she binds her chest in it. Nice.
Turn into gunpowder. It explodes in my face or goes directly into the area. On day 56, I finally found some 1.19 mountains with a snowy peaks biome, and I flew a portal right here with just one. Killed a couple animals with leather. Yes, all animals that got leather. So, like I said, the biggest leather, like a graphic, covered snow. There, I dove down into the hole, and yes, this is the perfect spot, as there's a deep dark biome down here that is pretty accessible. There's no ancient city, at least as far as I can tell, but there is quite a bit of diamonds and other resources, and some shrinkers that could be easily isolated, or at least I thought they could be easily isolated. I killed a couple of creepers right at the edge of the biome and got it spread by one of them dying next to a catalyst, throwing down some torches thinking that the space was safe, and it was very much not safe as a warden spawned on my head. That is what we in the business know as time to leave, so I flew through to the other side of the cave, a couple hundred blocks away where I was probably safe, grabbing whatever gunpowder I can from the creepers, whatever diamonds I see found in the floor or walls. I found a separate spot that was much more isolated from any other potential outlets of dark, and isolated a single shrieker. Grabbing some obsidian from my shulker rocks and making a portal here, but not going through. I wanted to note the coordinates so that I could isolate this on the nether room to be able to get easier access to it, because when it comes time to use this space, I will definitely be on the fly. There, I dug up to the surface and beelined it straight home. I can't see it right now because I'm trying to spawn advancements for a different advancement that I need. So I spent the night organizing. So, to make this all work, we're going to need access to the nether. We've already been up there, and there is a portal there that next to the portal at our village. We're going to need to break that up to get to. And then, I thought I had the big brain idea. We have a portal, so we don't need to break the ground. All we need to do is get the portal we have on the lower level. Now, we could have just broken that portal. That's not cool, so I decided to blow it up. Nope. That didn't work. I see someone just one comment in there, and all I needed to do was like TNT later in the process. I'm just gonna ban you. I feel bad about this. I'm ashamed, and I don't want to hear about it. The problem I have now is I have none of my shelter boxes. I don't have a totem anymore, and I have very limited rockets to be able to get to where the stronghold portal was. I demolished the existing obsidian and flew over towards where the stronghold portal was located, ending up in the end, and then being reminded that there's a shelter box just sitting there on the spawn platform. I did a little bit of digging right there just to get that place a little bit ready when it's time for the shelter to go. There, I jumped into the end portal, ending up at the world spawn and marking it, which would be extremely important. Either going through the portal in the village, which now did link to the one on the roof. So, mission accomplished, I guess. So, day 60, I forgot to start recording before heading off to the nether room. But all I'm doing right now is going to all of the coordinates that I recorded in my notes, working on this document, and getting the corresponding portals on the nether room. So
I can max out my soldier briefs, I just need a few more moblins, and I can totally get it.
Was the pink sheep that we had found earlier, making sure that they would be safe and cozy at our home every time, every 100 days. You'd love to see it. Hello, my pink friend. Your wonderful pink friend, hello. I'm having a moment. There, I set up a few tadpoles in the box so we'd be able to bring orange trunks, and the next morning we need new nether access to be able to access the main body, because we're not just done with everything inside Hell yet. I cast a portal in the nearby lava pool getting into the nether, and putting down a respawn anchor for not quite 9 lives fully charging, and marking where this portal was, eating some mushroom stew to be diet and heading out to a fortress where I was breaking spawners and breaking down some wither skeletons. I'm taking some hits though, getting down to only about 3 or 4 hearts, so I needed to find one in a much more adaptive biome. This one in a warped forest looked pretty good, and I was able to run a pretty consistent loop around the overall structure with more wither skeletons spawning around me that I could consistently. It's efficient, but it's not fast.
Alright, now to just
Getting
beat
my
up
first skull and
the shrine.
on day 61. As I continued just running loop and running loop, I did pick up a second skull from a pack of wither skeletons that was on one of the outcroppings, and then just continued going around in that circle several times. I vomited several times until I was completely out of food, but finally picked up the third skull after about 10 more minutes. From here, I am totally out of food, but there's
Whatever happened to the big gigas
but there's also food here.
in this mod?
I did get to see the rare piglin dance as they had just slayed one of the hoglins, and this patch around me was docile, but I also couldn't break it. It's something I did eat. I tenderized several of them in pork chops and then selected 2 very special ones to
Oh my.
them for 2 by 2, one of them falling into the lava immediately after. But with everything I wanted to do in this trip in the nether complete, I headed back towards my home portal and placed the skulls on top of this. Day 63, I'm hunting any creatures that I could find and harvesting wool from all of the sheep that I could find for it. I started carving out a block wall tunnel that would be able to go down and start to fields and definitely gonna need to do. But before I was worried about any more lava filling, I was back to netherite. Bedbomb was proving moderately effective when I was finding 8 pieces of ancient tree every now and then, with another 5 in my inventory after just and even more of defense now. I need 15 pieces of each from everything that I want to do to be able to get all of the advancements. For a full set of armor, a lodestone, and another light cut. But wouldn't you know, time is like a flat circle. It rhymes, and, well, like, I prefer my if I had a nickel for every time I was netherite mining, and I broke a critical tool which I was currently depending on, I'd have 3 nickels. 2 in this series and 1 in Dominion, which is disappointing for the weapon. Out of frustration, I had having a lot of them actually relatively close, and picking up Strider for this boat had a place because you need them to setting them up in a full pen and you provided them and it worked. So the sheep are no longer free range. We'll be harvesting all of the wool a lot quicker. They are trapped in diamond fields and it's the more possible to transport, building up 2 netherite ingots and a bit of extra. It's also time to repair my wound in armor without upgrading on everything. The armor will be small. But some extra durability from netherite and skin boots, that could definitely go a long way. And
Oh shit.
To end the day off, I brought some frogs pulling them through the portal so they could hang out with their brother here on the nether, which is safe. And right now, as I'm looking back at the footage, I realized I forgot to turn on shaders again, so I apologize that this video looks a little inconsistent. I enchanted up a crossbow with piercing, which I'll use later tonight, harvesting wood and wool for additional light bombs, which I will use. I threw another tadpole in the bucket so I'd be able to get 3 frogs, and then later doing multiple trips back and forth from the nether and to the little channel here and set it up with lava buckets, except I didn't really have a lot of buckets. I did that for the better part of day 65, just getting that lava channel ready. But when night fell, this is the main thing I wanted to do today. I need to get 2 birds, 1 arrow. And the easiest way to do that is by grabbing 2 handles and a bow, and then
I might have made a mistake and
I was able to get the bow in the first time, but they were blowing up and the arrow piece broke apart. So I was able to thankfully and the others could see the rock. So I get them trapping the same boat a little bit later in the evening and lost the arrow.
doing the Yiga first.
I upgraded my crown, getting 3 others. Setting aside my boots for a cake which I'll need for a later advancement, and picking up 2 extra buckets just to try to make this lava corridor be a little bit faster. After only a couple more trips, I fully completed the corridor, and I grabbed my friend Walter the Strider and headed off to the overworld. are gated. One is, it's a little easy to do that, but then I need to build a couple. So spend some time cleaning out the obsidian dumpster.
Blizzard rod, nice.
Successfully assassinated me with Day 66, the Order 66 joke in every other one of these videos. One was 5 people in one. I completed mining out all the obsidian on morning of Day 67, heading back into the Nether to do more red mining and getting lucky occasionally with some inch just where I'm setting up the tunnels. As I was wrapping up with only another 3 inches mining, a piglet jump scared me and got me down below half health. When I got home, smelted that all up, and covered me in debris is done. Now there's only 2 ingots. I already have half of one of them ready to go. And don't worry, I didn't break my pick a third time. I did repair it with a couple diamonds that I had mine. On Day 68, since I was no longer worried about the depth of the Nether, at least not for a little while, I went flying on the roof over to the quarters that I needed to be able to link the deep guard. Thankfully, it was only a couple 100 blocks from the Nether, so that worked out well. I mined a few diamonds that I saw every time the quarters that they were figuring out where I was going to plant the building and finding a spot for the surface. Like daylight had been enough, I headed back to the ground and found something that I thought was impossible. Wait a minute. Is that supposed to be like near impossible in 1.19? That's supposed to be not able to generate? Look at me! I found an illegal block! Seriously, if you want to access my map after you're done, accessing it via Patreon is the best way to do it. It's available for all tiers, so just go check it out. But as I'm waiting for the frogs to breed up, I just mined some stuff. I need levels anyway, so just mining this is definitely great, but eventually I heard from it, and one green frog was waiting. Grabbed them on a lead and got when the squad hops into town, which, to be fair, I thought you actually had to have all 3 at once. That's way more than time. Now this is the way you should actually have to get the advancement. When the squad truly hops into town. But I'll go to that now. If you want to be safe, you might get even see whether or not we can take you to the magnet fuse. Have to bring the magnet fuse to Alright. You're ready to go. Heading back to the overworld, leading my frog and running along the little path that I needed to. Portal, basically. Since the Basalt Delta was right there, it's going to be really easy to get this frog very close to some magma because they are practically spawn candidates. I did do a little bit of work to make sure that the frog wouldn't just immediately unalive itself by jumping into lava, but once a few magma cubes were close, I pulled them on the lead and got my first frog bites. 3 down, and 2 more to go. I full sent it, just grabbing both of them at once and getting almost killed by bowing down whatever mobs were in my way and getting my confidence to the lower levels of really respecting probably where I completed the powers combined. Day 70, I'm pretty it's time to close out the Nether altogether. If I have one measurement towards our advancements, that's definitely a question. I can easily get the Hoglin through it while I actually do it at once. Except the Hoglin literally just walks the border. Single player, I have to go through first. I did it very quickly, and then a few seconds later was able to send 2 Hoglins to overboard. By the time I was in Portal, they had already performed the lost them. Eating eggs like one mob left. So the next thing for me was I would fly out to wherever I saw a gas and try to build a portal. I did pick up the end of the balloon by looking at the spyglass, but I had to do service and literally punched the fireball at one point, killing my first ally. I think the other ways to see this probably not good. And also doing it together. flying around until I saw the Soul Sand Valley, then building a large netherrack platform that was only 4 blocks figuring that gas is spawning stuff that I can just push and grab them through the walls. The problem I have is that I opened the farm at the actual spawn people mobs on the platform of gas were spawning around, but they were spawning on top of the blocks that were meant to hold them in place, which meant I had to refill the gas in every platform with over construction for any stuff on the walls. So it was harder than trying to do it in the open nether where there were, walls. I tried that for all day 71 and then demolished the little farm and made it my street. Day 72, I'm back to the overworld and realize that I'm not going to complete the nether right now and I need to make progress. I can't just be sitting and getting frustrated with tasks. So I smelted up a little bit of food, banked all of the resources, and then leashed a dolphin and started searching around to hunt. Specifically looking for Nautilus shells, and would you know it, I found a trident. Go! They're tridents! We're absolutely gonna get doomed. We've had enough rain. I want to move the fly here. Anyway, here I go with them again. But as it was somewhere on the border of day 72 and 73, as I was just out hunting for 2 days, a pufferfish killed my dolphin, and I have only 2 rockets in my inventory, so that's not enough to fly. I hunted whatever ground were between me and the closest coastline, ending up at the Acacia Village that I had tamed some cats at a little bit further. I also picked up mining fatigue, ocean wandering along the way, which is super unfortunate. But once that cleared, I made a Acacia boat, and then I figured I should bring this cat home as well. I have more than just one of my types of cats with me in the village. This didn't help with the advancements. This only helped with telling a great story. What helped with the advancements was hunting for ender pearls and gunpowder throughout the rest of the coastline. Day 74, doing a little bit of inventory management, taking stock of where I'm at and how far I still have to go. We're about to get the 3/4 mark as far as days, and I'm still lagging a little bit behind as far as where I want to be as far as advancements. This one's gonna come down to the water, but I figured
Now we got ourselves a pretty good kit. Really?
I got the wither skulls, the soul sand,
They still suck.
some iron, and a bucket that I found along the way.
Alright, let me just get my
Full
full knife upgrade.
Forest biome, bringing my adventuring time up to 46 of the
And then that's it for the video.
Breed a few llamas that I had seen on the mountain, and a few wolves. That was the next one over for 2x2. And I would betray these wolves in a horrific way in just a little bit. But on the morning of day 75, it's time to do some summoning, and it's time for a battle. I popped down the skulls for Withering Heights and knew I needed some backup, so I hired some help as well, partially so I could get a Wither Rose, and that's where I forgot that the wolves were still gonna try to fight. But I didn't have time to worry about that anymore. The Wither was spawning, and this was going to be intense. I normally do that with a lot more potion crap. Oh, good, but it doesn't seem like fair trade at the same time. Yeah, I totally do West Settlement. I have no idea what I have predicted. While I was on the flight home, I did a little bit of just mental inventory, trying to figure out what it was that it would need to make monsters hunted. And as I was flying, is off the path that
Right, I should go beat up some Hinoxes next, I suppose.
finding both at Butcher Island and a ground that were holding the Godless shells. I had a little bit of wheat in my inventory, so I was able to really put together.
Huh.
And following a treasure chest, I was able to get a little bit more resources.
Why does Soldier Helm cost slightly differently? The Hylian set continues to be very nice and cheap to upgrade.
Goodness, they're not actually murder buttons. Finally finding my way towards the deep frozen ocean. Was a next village I went to, trying to spend the night getting a possibly good advancement, and immediately rolled Silk Touch, which is something that I need to be able to get a few plots specifically that would break in any other circumstance. I'm pretty done with Phantoms though, so I slept here, and the next day was immediately going at it with another villager just trying specifically to get Riptide. And I only got Riptide 1, which I bought 4 books to be able to combine into a Riptide 3. It'll be expensive, but as I sailed out of the village, I saw it. But the